All right, so let's start with Chapter 4, Lesson 1, page 139. Our lesson title, Multiply with 2 and 4. Our essential question, how can you multiply with 2 and 4? So again, it'll be easier if we just memorize our multiplication facts. We should be able to say 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 3 is 6. We should be able to say 4 times 4 is 16, 4 times 5 is 20, 4 times 6 is 24. But if we can't, or while we're learning it, we have to have some type of strategies in order to be able to multiply with 2 and 4. And so that's what we're going to be talking about in today's lesson. So here's our problem to begin. 2 students are in a play. Each of the students has 3 costumes. How many costumes do they have in all? Multiplying when there are 2 equal groups is like adding doubles. Okay? So what does the word each tell you? Well, it means both students have 3 costumes. How can you find the number of costumes the students have? Well, I know student 1 has 3, I know student 2 has 3. Or I have 2 groups, 2 students, each student has 3. So I could do it either way. So I could do 2 times 2, 2 times 3, or 3 plus 3. All right, so now draw counters to show the model. So the 2 circles represent the students. So I have 1, 2, 3 costumes. 1, 2, 3 costumes. So that's the same thing as saying 3 plus 3. 2 groups of 3 is 3 plus 3, or 6. I can also record it as a multiplication problem. How many groups? 2. The 2 students. How many in each group? 3 costumes. How many in all? 6. So 2 students have 6 costumes. All right, so now we're going to go through all the different multiplication facts from 2 times 1 to 2 times 9. And so this is the way they want us to think of this. 2 times 1 is the same as saying 1 plus 1. 2 groups of 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is the same as saying 2 plus 2, which is 4. So the next one would be 2 times 3, which is 3 plus 3. The next one, 2 times 4, means I have 2 fours. 2 times 5 means I have 2 5s, and 5 plus 5 is 10. 2 times 6 is next, which means I have 6 plus 6, which is 12. 2 times 7 is next, is 7 plus 7, 14. 2 times 8 is the same as 8 plus 8, which is 16. And 2 times 9, which is 9 plus 9, which equals 18. So this idea that multiplying when there are 2 equal groups is like adding doubles. So what are we doing? 2 times 3, 3 plus 3. 2 times 4, 4 plus 4. 2 times 5, 5 plus 5. So we're just doubling the other factor. All right, so what do you notice about the product when you multiply by 2? Remember, product means the answer to a multiplication problem. So when we look at these answers, the product is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Well, I notice all the products are even when multiplying by 2. Page 140. Counting by 2s. When there are 2 in each group, you can count by 2s to find out how many there are in all. There are 4 students with 2 costumes each. How many costumes do they have in all? So we can skip count by drawing jumps on the number line. Each jump has to have 2. There are 4 students 2 costumes in each. So 2, 4, 6, 8. How can you decide whether to count by twos or double? Okay, so count by twos. In each group and double when there are 2 groups. All right, so here I had 4 students or 4 groups, and in each group there was 2 students. That's 2 costumes. In the other example on the previous page, I had 2 groups of something. I had 2 groups of 1, 2 groups of 2, 2 groups of 3, and so on. So double when you have 2 groups, count by twos if you have more than 2 groups, or when you have 2 in each group. Use doubles to find 4 times 5. When you multiply with 4, you can multiply with 2 and then double the product, because 4 is twice as much as 2. So 4 times 5. Start by, instead of multiplying 4 times 5, do 2 times 5. And 2 groups of 5 is 10. Well, I know if I have another set of 10, that would be 1, 2, 4 sets, right? So if 2 times 5 is 10, I can double that to get 20. So 4 times 5 is the same as 2 times 5 twice. Double 2 times 7 to find 4 times 7. Multiply with 2. So 2 groups of 7 is 14. Now double that to find 4 times 7. 14 plus 14 is 28. So 4 times 7 is 28. Explain how knowing the product, I'm right here on explain how knowing the product for 2 times 8 helps you find the product for 4 times 8. If I know 2 times 8, I can double that product. To get the product of 4 times 8. All right, well, write a multiplication sentence for the model. All right, so I see 2 groups, and in each group I have 2. So that would be the idea of doubling. So I have 2 groups of 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. Here I have 3 groups, and in each group I have 4. So this would be the same as saying 3 times 2 is 6, and 6 plus 6 is 12. Okay, so 3 times 4 is the same as 3 times 2 twice. 6 groups of 2. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 9 times 4 is the same as 9 times 2 doubled. 9 groups of 2 is 18, because 9 plus 9 is 18. And 18 and 18 is 36. 2 groups of 7, that's 7 plus 7, 14. 8 times 4 is the same as 8 times 2 doubled. So 8 times 2 is 16. 16 plus 16, 32. 5 sets of 2, 5 times 2, 10. 10 groups, 10 times 4 is the same as 10 times 2 doubled. 10 times 2 is 20. 20 plus 20 is 40. 2 times 9 is 2 groups of 9, so 9 plus 9, 18. 4 times 6 is the same as 2 times 6 doubled. So 4 times 6 is 24. 7 groups of 2, 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. 2 sets of 0. We know that any number times 0 is 0. 4 sets of 3. That's the same as 2 times 3 doubled. 2 times 3 equals 6. So 6 plus 6 equals 12. 2 times 8 is 2 groups of 8. So we would say 8 plus 8 in our head, 16. 4 times 4 is the same as 2 times 4 doubled. 2 times 4 equals 8. 8 plus 8 equals 16. 10 times 2, 10 groups of 2. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. 4 sets of 5 is the same as 2 times 5 doubled. 2 times 5 is 10, and 10 plus 10 is 20. All right, so complete the table. 2 sets of 1. So this is read as 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 6 is 12. 2 times 7, 14. 2 times 8, 16. 2 times 9, 18. 2 times 10, 20. Okay, so now when we multiply by 4, we know that it's the same thing as 2 times that number doubled. So if 2 times 1 is 2, 4 times 1 is 2 plus 2. 4 times 2 is 4 plus 4. 4 times 6 is 2 times 3 doubled. 4 times 4 is 2 times 4 doubled. 4 times 5 is the same as 2 times 5 doubled. 10 plus 10 is 20. 4 times 6 is the same as 2 times 6 doubled. 12 plus 12 is 24. 4 times 7 is the same as 2 times 7 doubled. 14 plus 14 is 28. 4 times 8 is the same as 2 times 8 doubled. 16 plus 16, 32. 4 times 9 is the same as 2 times 9 doubled. 18 and 18 is 36. And 4 times 10 is the same as 2 times 10 doubled. 20 plus 20 is 40. All right, so write the unknown number. 4 times 8 equals 16. So remember that 4 times 8 is the same as 2 times 8 doubled. If 2 times 8 is 16, let's double. 20. How many 2's will it take to get to 20? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. It's going to take us 10. 8 sets of 2. 8 sets of 2 is 16, because 8 plus 8 is 16. So 10 plus what is 16? 6. All right, Lindsay, Lewis, Sally, and Matt each brought 5 guests to the school play. How many guests were at the school play? 5 guests, 1, 2, 3, 4. So there were 4 students, and they each brought 5 guests. So 4 times 5 is the same as 2 times 5 doubled. So they brought 20 guests. Because 4 times 5 equals 20. All right, let's move on to page 142. Last couple problems for today. Ms. Peterson's class sold tickets for the class play. How many tickets in all did Brandon and Haley sell? All right, so remember we said when we look at a graph or a chart, a table, we want to make sure we understand it. So the title of our table is, or graph, is play tickets. Play tickets. Brandon, I see 4 symbols. Haley, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 symbols. Elizabeth, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 symbols. So I have 3 students, and it's saying that each of these symbols is 2 tickets sold. So Brandon, 2, 4, 6, 8 tickets. Haley, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 tickets. Elizabeth, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. All right. So what do we need to find? We need to find out how many tickets Brandon and Haley sold. Why should you multiply to find the number of tickets shown? Explain. Okay, so remember, whenever you have the same amount in each group, you can multiply. So since in our graph here, each symbol represents 2, we can just multiply. So Brandon is 4 sets of 2, which is 8, and Haley is 7 groups of 2, which is 14. So Brandon sold 14 tickets, Haley sold 14. Brandon sold 8 tickets, Haley sold 14 tickets. So together, now we're going to add that. Sorry, I'm not sure what happened there. Sorry. Love when your computer tries to take over for you. All right. Anyway. So, let's back up. All right. So what do we need to find? We need to find how many tickets Brandon and Haley sold. Why should you multiply to find the number of tickets? Because each symbol equals 2. So since there's the same amount in each group, we can multiply. So Brandon is 4 times 2 equals 8 because there's 4 symbols. Haley has 7 times 2 because there's 7 symbols in hers. So Brandon sold 8 tickets. Haley sold 14 tickets. So now together they sold 8 plus 4 is 12. Regroup the 12 ones as 110 and 2 ones. And 110 plus 110 is 2 tens. So they sold 22 tickets. Suppose Sam sold 20 tickets to the school play. How many tickets should be on the picture graph above to show his sales? So basically what that's asking us is some number times 2 is 20. So skip count by 2s to get to 20. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. So that was 10. Skip count by 2s until you get to 20. So 10 tickets should be on the picture graph. All right, and 27. Alex exchanges some dollar bills for quarters at the bank. He receives 4 quarters for each dollar bill. Select the numbers of quarters that Alex could receive. Mark all that apply. So we know that this is telling us that some number of dollar bills times 4 equals some amount. So in this case, it's saying, can I multiply by 4 to get 16? Can I multiply by 4 to get 18? Can I multiply by 4 to get 24? Can I multiply by 4 to get 30? To get 32? And can I multiply by 4 to get 50? Well, the easiest way to do this is actually to look back at our table here. Okay, so we know that we can go 4, 8, 12, 16. So we're skip counting by 4s. 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40, 44, 48, 52. So we can stop there because the greatest number was 50. So can we get 16? Yes, I see 16 right there. So yes, that will work. That would be 4 times 4, 16. Can I get 18? I did not count 18, so this one just won't work. 24, I do see 24. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be 6 4s to get 24. Can we get 32? Well, as I was skip counting, I did see 32 on my list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 times 4 is 32, so that one will work. 50, did we count to 50? No, we went 44, 48, 52, so we skipped 50, so that one won't work. So, basically what you're saying is, could you have gotten a product, one of these products, by multiplying by 4? And so the easiest way to do that is skip count by 4s. All right, so that's it for today's lesson. Remember, we're working on 2s and 4s. You'll now do your online lesson. Use your textbook and the video to help you with your online work. Tomorrow we'll talk about multiplying with 5 and 10. Okay? So I'm certain you'll do well on today's assignment. So until tomorrow, good luck.